A 30-second doodle just sold for $100,000. It's not a scam. Your brain is just playing tricks on you. One person draws a line on a napkin and it ends up in the trash. Another person does the exact same thing and it's worth a fortune. Same 30 seconds, same pen, same napkin. So, what actually makes the difference? Most people hear this and react the exact same way. No way, $100,000 for a 30-second drawing? But that reaction, that is the trap. Today, using actual psychology, I'm going to show you exactly why your brain is hardwired to disrespect experts. 3 psychological traps. Once you see them, you'll never look at value the same way again. Let me share a famous story. A woman once asked Pablo Picasso to sketch something on a napkin. After 30 seconds, he handed it back and asked for a massive amount of money. When she complained, Picasso allegedly said, "It didn't take me 30 seconds to draw this. It took me 30 years." Now, we don't actually know if this story is 100% true, but it's been told for decades because it hits on a very uncomfortable glitch in the human brain. In psychology, we call this effort justification bias. Basically, your brain assumes that if something was hard to do, it's valuable, and if it was easy, it's worthless. Back in 1959, psychologists Aronson and Mills proved this with a famous experiment. They split people into 2 groups to join a discussion club. One group got in easily, while the other had to go through a difficult, embarrassing initiation. The actual discussion? It was specifically designed to be incredibly boring. The results? The group that got in easily admitted it was a total waste of time. But the group that struggled to get in? They rated the discussion as meaningful and highly valuable. Same boring discussion. Why? Because the brain can't handle the contradiction of, "I worked so hard for something this lame." So instead of facing reality, it rewrites its own perception. "I suffered for this, so it must be worth it." This is exactly why we undervalue Picasso's easy 30 seconds. Your brain does the math like this. 30 seconds of effort equals 30 seconds of value. But those tens of thousands of hours of training, since they're invisible, they don't count. If you're staying late at work every night telling yourself, "I'm working hard," you need to stop and think. Are you actually creating value? Or is your brain just making up excuses for your struggle? But wait, that's only the first trap. The second one is way more subtle, mainly because it's a blind spot you literally cannot see. Think back to that woman who complained to Picasso. Why was she so shocked by the price tag? It's not just because it was expensive. It's because she lacked the actual ability to understand why it was worth that much. And that's not her fault. It's a structural limitation built right into the human brain. In 1999, professors Dunning and Kruger published a now legendary study. They tested 65 students on logic, grammar, and humor, then asked, "Where do you think you rank compared to everyone else?" The results were mind-blowing. Students in the bottom 25% actually thought they were in the top 62%. On the flip side, the actual top performers, they underestimated themselves. This is the Dunning-Kruger Effect. To sum it up in one sentence, incompetent people don't know they're incompetent, and competent people don't realize how good they really are. But there's a much scarier part that most people miss. The real danger of Dunning-Kruger is this. If you lack skill, you don't just overestimate yourself. You also fail to recognize true skill in others. Basically, a non-expert is literally incapable of seeing how great an expert is. This is why we question a doctor's 3-minute diagnosis, complain about a lawyer's fee for just a few emails, and tell a graphic designer their logo looks like something we could make in 30 minutes. An expert's work doesn't look easy because it is easy. It looks easy because they're an expert. You can't measure the depth of something you don't understand. You don't even know what you don't know. That's the second lock on your brain. Now, if you followed me this far, you're probably thinking, "Okay, so I just need to become an expert." And you're right. But the problem is, your brain is hardwired to sabotage that exact decision. After hearing the Picasso story, a lot of people make a promise to themselves. Yeah, I'm going to master my craft. But what happens the next day? They're right back to the same grind for the same hourly wage. Why is it so hard to actually change? That's where the third trap comes in. It's a psychological phenomenon called temporal discounting. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have $50 right now or $100 a year from now? Logically, waiting is the obvious choice. But in study after study, most people take the $50 today. Why? Our brains see future rewards as a blurry image in the distance. But what we can hold right now feels vivid, certain, and real. This isn't a glitch. It's a survival instinct. Back in the hunter-gatherer days, eating the berries right in front of you was a much better survival strategy than waiting for a mammoth that might never show up. The problem is that this 100,000-year-old instinct is systematically destroying your growth today. That $10 hourly wage is real right now, but a future where you make $10,000 in an hour because you spent 3 years mastering a skill? To your brain, that's too far away and way too uncertain. So we settle for the immediate paycheck and keep procrastinating on what we actually need to do. There's a story that illustrates this perfectly. A massive ship's engine completely broke down. A bunch of experts tried to fix it, but they couldn't find the problem. Finally, a technician with 40 years of experience showed up, looked around the engine room, and gave one specific spot a single tap with a small hammer. The engine roared back to life instantly. The bill he handed over read like this: tapping with a hammer, $1. Knowing exactly where to tap, $9,999. Our brains only value the visible action, the hammering, but we fail to put a price on the 40-year journey it took to know exactly where to hit. This habit of only valuing what we can see, this is the third lock keeping you trapped in the prison of hourly pay. Okay, those are the 3 locks. But if psychology only pointed out the traps without giving a solution, I wouldn't have made this video. Now we get to the real stuff. Your brain is currently locked into 3 patterns that make you ignore an expert's true value. First, effort justification bias. The illusion that it's only valuable if it was hard work. Second, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. The structural wall of not knowing the true depth of what you don't know. Third, temporal discounting. The survival instinct that makes us crave small, immediate rewards. But once you see the structure of the trap, you can flip the script. First, question your busyness. Am I creating real value, or am I just romanticizing the grind to avoid making a real change? Being busy isn't proof of growth. Sometimes it's just stagnation in disguise. Second, stay humble about what you don't know. Realize that what you don't know about a field is likely far greater than what you do know. Paying an expert isn't a waste. It's an act of intellectual maturity. Third, make that distant future crystal clear. The brain is literally designed to ignore a blurry future. So do the exact opposite and paint that future in high definition. Specific goals, clear milestones, tracking every small win. These are the hacks that trick your brain into feeling long-term rewards, as if they were right in front of you. Let's go back to the start. $100,000 for 30 seconds. It's not a scam, it's not a bubble, and it's not hype. It's the price of accumulated expertise, something our brains are structurally wired to misunderstand. And if you can't see that value, it's not because you aren't smart. It's because of an ancient design in your brain that has evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. But today, you finally saw the blueprint. Once you know where the trap is, you don't fall for it anymore. From today on, just ask yourself this one question. Am I just spending my time, or am I actually accumulating it? If this video shifted something in your mind, let me know by hitting subscribe and like. This is Mind Grove, the place where your mind grows.